In Washington, questions about the upcoming gathering of top military leaders in Virginia this Tuesday stirred lively exchanges during a press briefing. Reporters pressed the president for details about the unusual invitation extended by Secretary of Defense Hex to generals and admirals from across the globe. A reporter began by asking, "Secretary Hex is inviting military leaders from all around the country on Tuesday. Will you also be there?" The president, appearing relaxed, asked for clarification. "From all around the country to what?" Another reporter quickly interjected. "From all around the world to Virginia," inviting the generals and admirals to Virginia for a big meeting. They're not sure why the president responded with his characteristic informal style. He said, "Well, I love it. I think it's great." When another journalist emphasized the scale of the meeting, the president reiterated his approval. He said, "Yeah, for a big meeting. Well, I know, I love it. I think it's great. Let them be friendly. Let him be friendly with the generals and admirals from all over the world." The questions continued as reporters sought to understand the nature of the event. One asked whether there was something unusual about the gathering. The president dismissed the notion of anything improper. He said, "Why is there something? No, but is there something wrong with it?" Another reporter pressed further, "Will you be there personally as well? And what is it about?" The president clarified his position. He said, well, I'll be there if they want me, but why is that such a big deal? The fact that we're getting along with the generals and admirals from all... Remember, I'm the president of peace. He added that it was a positive development. He said, "It's good to get along. You act like this is a bad thing. Isn't it nice that people are coming from all over the world to be with us?" Challenging the press narrative, he pointed out that such meetings were routine. He said, "It's not particularly unusual that generals who report to the Secretary of War and then to the President of the United States are coming to speak with the Secretary of War. It's actually not unusual at all, and I think it's odd that you guys have made it into such a big story." A journalist asked in return, "Is it a big story?" Another voice in the press corps answered candidly, "I don't think it is, sir." The president seized the moment to highlight what he viewed as the real story. He said, "I would think that, isn't it a good story? We're respected from all over the world as a military force." Reflecting on his tenure, he continued, he said, "I rebuilt the military during my first term, and even though we gave a chunk of it away to Afghanistan, but we're talking Afghanistan too, by the way, about Bram and about that, but that's a very small amount compared to what we rebuilt it by. I said it just to prove a point." The president's remarks underscored his belief that military cooperation and dialogue with global leaders were signs of strength and mutual respect rather than controversy. His reference to being the president of peace served as a reminder of his stated commitment to diplomacy, even while maintaining a strong defense posture. Throughout the exchange, his tone oscillated between irritation at what he saw as media sensationalism and a desire to project confidence in US leadership. His repeated emphasis that the meeting was not unusual at all suggested a pushback against framing it as extraordinary or suspect. Reporters, for their part, appeared intent on probing whether there were underlying reasons for the international military gathering. However, the president's answers consistently framed it as a routine yet positive development that reflected the US military's global stature. The discussion also revealed a glimpse of his perspective on the relationship between civilian leadership and the armed forces. By stressing that generals ultimately report to the Secretary of Defense and then to the President, he implicitly reinforced the established chain of command while downplaying any notion of unusual influence. As the briefing wound down, the tension between the President's casual demeanor and the reporter's persistent questioning lingered. While he sought to normalize the meeting, the press seemed eager to frame it as potentially significant. Nevertheless, the president's comments painted the gathering as an opportunity for dialogue and cooperation rather than cause for alarm. His reference to rebuilding the military and to the respect commanded by US forces suggested that he viewed such events as natural extensions of America's global role. By the end of the exchange, it was clear that the president intended to keep the focus on what he saw as positive engagement with international military leaders, portraying the upcoming meeting not as a political controversy, but as evidence of diplomatic outreach and enduring respect for US leadership.